Hello and a very good day to you. I hope you had yourself an amazing Tuesday. It is 19:05 East African time on the 23rd of July 2024. And this is Tuesday Updates with me, Dimori. I'll be taking you through, of course, everything that was happening throughout the whole of Africa today, and especially in Uganda, and of course, in all the other regions in Africa. And let us start with Uganda before I even talk about anything else, because I was here yesterday talking about Uganda, and we were wondering whether Ugandans are actually going to be brave enough and go to the streets despite all the threats that Museveni had issued. And I was quite impressed, to be honest, at what happened in Uganda today. So let me start by sharing this video before we proceed.
By dawn, covert and overt security personnel from various outfits of the military and police had besieged the National Unity Platform offices at Makere Kavule in Kampala. What was a peaceful and calm situation descended into rowdy and chaotic scenes with the arrival of the party members of parliament who were scheduled to attend a media briefing at the offices. Mahogola County Member of Parliament Gorethi Namuga found herself in a bitter exchange with the female security personnel who attempted to snatch her phone.
Madam, that is wrong. That is wrong. Is this your friend? No, you cannot insult a member of parliament like that. You talk to her.
You tell me to bow.
This is an open zone.
No, it is an open zone.
You see how she has
Namuga was spared from arrest, but it was not the case for the Mityana Municipality MP who arrived shortly after driving a sedan. Zake caused a dramatic scene outside the barricaded party headquarters by honking.
You man behave. You open, I'm working here and I must enter. Stop misbehaving. Open!
Over spikes. Those service trucks were called in to have the vehicle towed away, but the efforts were in futility. Zake resisted having the vehicle towed. He won the first round, though it was short-lived. During a pause by the stranded security personnel who sought alternative ways of towing the car, Zake drove off to a nearby open space. Security personnel who were standing in his way scampered for their lives. One of the officers pulled a pistol at the unyielding Zake during the scuffle. Even when his car was partially lifted onto the carrier, Zake attempted to drive it off, causing the atmosphere to be filled with a burnout from the spinning wheels.
That man wanted to drive off the breakdown that was towing his car to the police. To the police station.
What the hell is it about? What happened?
This is the Ugandan demonstrations, and I'm just looking at what was happening in Uganda today.
Oh, that's the guy. Oh, so that was the guy that was in his car. Was waiting for the Ugandans to come out, and they didn't show up.
They never showed up?
Nah, not enough. A few of them showed up. Not a lot.
So, that's actually a very, very big thing in Uganda, even for the few ones to show up. Knowing Uganda very well, that's a big, big step stone.
Yeah, it's got to be in the middle. Just like we were just talking about on the show earlier with Maria and Seto.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Ugandans are still scared. You've had 40 years of the same vicious, brutal dictator. So, few that come out, that's just the beginning. It's going to take some time. Then the African people have been traumatized.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, you know, they don't know what the hell they fighting for, what's going on. Yes, I'm ignorant. Like I said, like I told HR and them on the last show, Kenya's a little bit more advanced because of the educational system that they had some years ago. And they have better technical skills than the Ugandans, so they're a little bit further along. Understand, Africa's been kept in a deep state of ignorance. So, like Maria said, most motherfuckers don't know what the fuck is going on.
But for the fact that a few Ugandans could turn up, that's a big, big, big step. Even after Museveni yesterday said that they were playing with fire, they still went out and played with the fire. And
yeah, they still went out there.
Begin like that. begins with 2 people coming out, then 3, then
That's how it
5.
starts. Exactly. That's how it starts. You got to gain that confidence. So yes, you got to gain that you got to lose that fear slowly when you see other Ugandans coming
Mhm.
out. You got to get to the point where, like when the Kenyans just said, "Fuck it, I'd rather die." Fuck it. So till you get there, you know, you got to take baby steps.
And I know the other African presidents must be really, really mad at Ruto because of what he did, because he kind of kindled the protests.
He really did. He really didn't kindle. He can't be mad at Ruto because
They
Ruto didn't
have to.
know his
They don't
Ruto didn't know
understand
how smart his Ruto
they
didn't know how
don't
smart his
how
kids were.
they don't understand how he allowed them that much freedom. And now if you look at the headlines today, for example, ABC did a headline on the Uganda demonstration. The headline was Uganda, you know, they are all being referred back to Kenya. For example, let me read one
Yeah.
of the headlines. They are saying anti-corruption protest erupt in Uganda capital, inspired by Kenya. So
It's all
at the end
inspired
of the
by Kenya.
yeah, so Kenya is a big factor in this. And I was saying
It's the
yesterday,
it's the fact that in all of them, but it has nothing to do with uh their approach what they did in Kenya. They haven't got the memo that their youth are not the same stupid as their parents and their grandparents.
mhm,
That's the factor that these idiots who run Africa, because they're so detached from their own populace, they didn't get the memo. How you grow up in your own country and don't know that your youth have now become have a certain intelligence? That means you're completely detached and don't give a fuck. Because just common sense would have told you, just being around your own people, so wow, these kids are a little smarter than what the fuck we used to be. You would know that. That means the African leaders are so detached, so fucked up, so live in a bubble of stealing and grabbing and working for this white man. They don't even know what the hell's going on. Because this shouldn't have come as a surprise
mhm.
to the Kenyans, but it did. The Kenyan officials, but it did. It did. So the other African public can now say, oh shit, I think we're in a new era. Yeah, but they still not be as far along as Kenya, because like you said, there might not have been no Kibaki who did free education 15 years ago.
Mm.
So they still might not be there on that intellect level. And sorry, that has to do something about your IQ. African IQ is so low, they don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what these Kenyan motherfuckers doing out in the street, because it's worse in Ghana than it is in Kenya, and they ain't done shit.
It's 100 times worse in. And
Yeah.
I was saying yesterday, one of the big downfall for those, they are puppets and they are bigger puppets. For example, the Ugandan one is, I would put him in the second category. One of their biggest downfall will be their inability to read the room. They don't understand. For example, every other African president is in a panic mode and is trying to salvage
Of
their
course.
face. You saw Suluhu firing a few of his cabinet secretaries yesterday. You saw Nigeria doubling the minimum wage. Then you go to Uganda, Museveni
That's
is threatening them. He thinks
yeah.
that the way he threatened them in 2001 and they went back to the houses, he's going to threaten them in 2024 again in a digital era where we can just open TikTok and see what is happening in Kenya, see what is happening in Nigeria, and he thinks that is going to scare them. In as much as maybe what Suluhu did is not a solution, firing a few CS, in as much as what Tinubu did with doubling the wages is not a solution, it's going to buy him a few more months.
That's
Because
it.
it's going to be a
That's
few
it.
months before
They
Nigerians are going to
already
realize even that
they
the
already
double
they
cannot be.
already said in Nigeria they're gonna protest. That money he gave is not enough to shut him up. That's nothing.
It's gonna just buy him a few months. But for Museveni does not even want to buy himself a few months. Because if I were him, I would do what the others are doing, try to stop the demos before they start. Because once they start, there's nothing you can do about it. For
Well,
example, right now in Kenya, there's absolutely nothing that the government can do that can stop the demos. Nothing. It doesn't matter
no,
who gets
it's too
fired.
far
It doesn't
gone.
matter what is promised. It doesn't matter whatever measures the government takes.
Oh, it's past the tipping point. Yes, past. Kenya's past the tipping point, and the kids are too smart. When they tried to lie about they weren't trying to sell the airport, that was a lie. They come on, we would put that to the public, and the public would have to find out. You ain't never put shit to the public because you've been selling off Kenyan assets like that goopy railroad system and that trying to sell off Mombasa. You ain't told the people shit. It's just that now the people know. Like I said, they only know that because there was a Kenyan who lives outside the country in France came across a private equity memo stating that Kenya was going to a deal with an Indian firm to give complete control of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport to the Indians for 30 years. 30 fucking years. 30-year lease. And then after the lease was up, the goofy Indian firm was going to get 18% ownership of that airport. And like, are you out your fucking mind? Who would sign a deal like this? Nobody. Nobody but a corrupt goddamn official getting some kickback. They try to say, oh, these youth don't know what they're talking about. Then the guy showed the paper. Motherfucker ain't go to paper. It's a fact. He wasn't trying to sell the goddamn.
Controlling the airport is much more than even just about money. It's about control. Because where everything comes in, everything goes out.
Yes.
Control of the airport, I have control of what I want to bring. I can bring it at the dead of the night without getting it checked. I can export whatever I want to export at the dead of the night without anybody questioning me. It's not even a question of money, it's a question of wanting complete control because the airport is complete control of the country.
That's exactly it, Jamore. Yeah, fix your mic. I think your mic is messed up or something. But anyway, that's exactly right, dude. Nobody gives up their fucking ownership of their fucking airport. Now that means you're stealing minerals out the country. You're bringing all kind of shit in the country. You can cause the country to be destabilized by bringing armaments in there, military equipment, all kind of shit. To start coups, to start unauthorized revolts in the street. Exactly. You would never give up your fucking international airport. Sound crazy as cat shit. Exactly right.
That is literally controlling the whole economy because talk about the GDP, we have to account for the goods that we export. Where do we export them from? The airport. So count for the NNP, the net national product, still the airport has to come in. Count for the medical supplies in the country, they come through the airport. Count for the food, comes through the, so that's why I'm saying the game is bigger than even the money. The game is bigger than the game is for them. It's not even about if they have enough money to. It's not even about the airport making money for them. The ones who are buying, it's about them controlling the airport.
Control, exactly. It's not about the money, it's about the control of a country. Exactly.
It's about the money for the corrupt Kenyan individuals who are signing, but for the ones buying, it's not about the money at all. They have more money than they can spend. They don't give two hoots about an airport in the middle of nowhere. They just want to control, to have the country. And look at it this way: they control the Kenya Seed Corporation, that is the Kenya's seed producer. So they control the Kenyan food system. They control the airports. So in short, they have control of one, the food that you produce, two, the foods that you import. They have control of the foods that you export. So in short, you are totally fucked up.
Yeah, you wouldn't even do nothing like that, Demo. Exactly. What sovereign country would agree to some shit like this? You wouldn't, exactly. I believe you completely fucked up. When you got caught, and the youth caught your ass, we wouldn't do that like that. That would go to a public. We take that to the public first. The hell you would.
Yep. And this is the collective. The video on your screen is, even though there were not many protesters in Uganda, but there were many. The ones on your screen are many. And for us to see such in Uganda, that's how it starts.
That's how it starts, Demore. That's how it starts. That's a good sign. I said that was a good sign. That's a good sign. I agree with you, Demore. That's how it starts.
Mm.
Starts from a little goddamn wave that goes into a flame. That's how it starts.
The Kenyan
You
one
know,
started
a lot
with
of people start getting desperate.
the Kenyan one started with a guy wanting to beat up the Treasury CS. And no, it started before that. It started with that other young guy lecturing the governor. If you remember the video that I showed you.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yep, it starts like that. If we go back to the Kenyan Revolution, then it has to go back to that guy who was lecturing the governor who stole money from parents to
So
send.
money
Yep,
for the kids to school somewhere or something. Yeah.
where was it? They were sending
And
kids
she was
to
and she was
prayer.
apologizing, and then she was all respectful and apologizing. I know you're not used to me saying this to you. I'm being respectful, but you stole our money and it's not right. She's still being respectful. Still
Yeah,
being just as kind to a goddamn no good dirty criminal. Stole money out your parents' pockets.
let me
That's
actually.
African. Africans are very respectful. That's who they. That's who we are used to. Always are as a people. Very respectful, loving. Even when you criminals robbing us blind.
So when we go back to the Kenyan Revolution, it started here, right here. Let me just share it again in case you've never seen it. And in case you think Uganda's demos were a failure, they were not. The Kenyan one started like this.
It was not a failure. I told Maria. I said that was no failure. That's where it starts.
So it starts with the girl
Yeah,
telling
that's
the
it.
governor. It started with the girl telling the governor, the meeting was supposed to be at 9 a.m. Why are you coming late? And Kenyans had never heard of such a thing ever. Somebody lecturing a whole the governor is a close friend to the president. That was unheard of.
First of all, mumetuita meeting sisi na wazazi wetu. Mkasema meeting ni ya 9 a.m. Number 1. Mulifika saa ngapi?
So let me translate. She's saying you
So
call
what
us
she's
for
saying? Yeah. Let me say something, Demar, real quick. Let me say something real quick. Translate.
Mm-hmm.
They were so used to disrespecting their constituents that he showed up late. And she says, what the hell are you doing? And they were never used, like Demar said, to being questioned ever. Because you got Demar.
This girl did not even tell them you are late. She asked them, the meeting was supposed to be at 9. What time is this? Like, what time is this you are arriving at the meeting? She was demanding answers. And this is the genesis of the Kenyan Gen Z revolution, if we study it, and which I know is going to translate into the whole of Africa soon.
It is.
Probably you don't expect me to ask such a question, but these are the people that you elected you for you to serve them. I may seem very foolish in front of you considering I am very young. Guga hajakula kitu tangu asubuhi. Tumeleta wazazi wetu ni wagonjwa, wengine wako na pressure.
She's saying my grandfather has not eaten anything since morning because he came here early waiting for you.
Wow.
So that was accountability.
Wengine wako na diabetes.
Yes.
Wengine wako na depression. Mr. Chelili, nilisoma na watoto wako 3. Nataka nikuulize swali moja. Unajua dawa ya depression? Do you know any...
She goes on to tell him, I studied with 3 of your daughters. And she says none of your daughters are actually in Kenya.
They're all gone. They're all out living their life.
You don't. Nilisoma na Berry B. Ako UK sahi.
He actually mentions each and every one of his daughters and where they are. One is in the UK, there you go.
Soma na Berry B. Ako UK sahi tukiongea. Nilisoma na Bernard ako Australia. Nilisoma na Bill ako Australia. Tulisoma primary. Mr. Barorot tukikuwa
Australia.
Watoto wako.
Yeah, 2 of them are in Australia, one is in the UK. So he's asking him, have you ever bought a depression drug all your life? We buy them every day because of what you do to our parents. So this was the genesis of
wengine wako maju. Ukasema ati ukaambia wa parents, si hao watoto wote ni wetu. Si wote ni wetu. Ako wapi mtoto wa Barorota hapa?
So she's saying that the governor is telling the way African politicians speak, they always say these are our children. So she's saying you keep telling our parents that these are our kids. So she is turning back and asking the governor to point at his kid in the group. We are point at your kid in this room. We want to see him or her.
You can't. They're in Australia and England.
Yeah. She's saying before you tell our parents that these are our kids, point at yours.
Simame.
She's actually saying, let the governor's daughter or son stand up, and she's turning back.
And they don't understand the more.
Yeah.
It's easy to get him in England. To get his black children in Australia, I don't know what he did. Australia's racist as shit. They don't want none of us over there. That motherfucker. That was a whole black country that they stole and killed. They don't want nobody black over there in the smallest numbers possible. So how he's got 2 kids in Australia, I wonder who he had to bribe to get him over there. Go ahead.
Ako wapi wabi? Ako wapi mtoto wa Mandago? No leader here. Now you have decided we are going to personalize things. Mr. Baroro, tunajua dawa ya depression. Do you know any antidepressant of your mind? Any antidepressant? No. Mr. Mandago, any antidepressant? Do you know any antidepressant? No. Very good. Kuna students hapa wako on antidepressants. I want you to go, just for information's sake, muende mugoogle hata dawa ya depression ni nini. Some of us are on antidepressants. Nilimaliza shule 2021. I graduated from Kabarak University. Your daughter graduated from Riara University. Probably it does not even move you. I congratulated her, nikamwambia, hey, you finished bana, congratulations. So what is next? Akaniambia she doesn't know, she's going to tell me. That is, after that we didn't talk. Now, you have given her a head start of some months. We don't know whether you sold land, whether you secured a loan, whether you sold your house. You have given your children head starts. This government of His Excellency our President was for the hustlers. In fact, jana niliongea na Mr. Kimutai. Jana na juzi.
I came to know. So immediately after this lady was offered a job by some politician, opposition politician, not the ones in government, opposition ones. And she said no. She said, I don't want a job, go legislate in the parliament. That's when I knew she was, in as much as she was unemployed and had graduated in 2021, she said no to a job by a politician. And said, you can go legislate in parliament, I don't need a job. So this was the genesis. So even the Ugandan one, those few people who went to the streets, they were arrested. They did move some other people who did not turn out. And I know next time they are going to turn out. So even for Museveni, even for Suluhu, even for Tinubu, even for, it's getting a bit too late for them. And somebody said that they have expensive watches, but they can't tell when their time is up.
I like that. That's good. All right. All these corrupt bastards' time gonna be up.
So that was Uganda. Let us just go through everything else that was happening in Africa before my time is up. In Ethiopia, there was a mudslide that killed at least 157 people. That's sad. With what is happening in Ethiopia, of course, there was a mudslide somewhere in Ethiopia that was as a result of heavy rainfall. Wow. So 157 people have died, and still the rescue operation is going on. So the numbers might go up because yesterday they were at 55, today they are at 157, and there are still so many other people who are yet to be accounted for. On this, I just go back to blaming the governments because they know the terrains, they understand that some areas are likely to have mudslides from
the terrain. Exactly. And then but if I'm an African, goddamn, I know it's raining a lot. It's muddy shit. Get away from that shit.
Mm. So all
Might
it
cause
takes
a
is the
mudslide.
government. All it takes is the government evacuating people rather than coming to collect dead bodies. But they like the second one. All it takes is for you
That's true.
to evacuate people
Beautiful.
from such areas when it starts raining. There's a meteorological department. It must have
But you
seen the
know,
rain coming.
but you know what, Demore? That means you actually have to have leaders
Mm.
that care about the people. Africans
And
have leaders that don't give a fuck, don't care about. That's what you see. They don't. Those puppets have been put there because they don't give a shit. That's why
you
there
say,
are no first responders. No one to say, hey, if you have leadership that actually care about people, you're going to set
Mhm.
up first responders and do exactly what you're saying because you care. You
you say
care.
leaders that care for the people.
Yes, you have leaders
Unfortunately,
that care.
we don't do that here.
And I'm saying it used to be that way in Africa. It used to be that way.
Yeah. And apart from in Mali, another 26 people were killed in another attack in Mali.
That's
There was an
cool.
attack in a village in central Mali that near the border. It was actually near the Burkina Faso border, and they are saying that it was the attack was from an extremist group again. But of course, this is to be expected, especially in that region. I know they are going to be. There's going to be
It's
a
gonna
lot
take a
of.
while. It's gonna take a while. Yeah, it's gonna take a while to unalive all the
Mhm.
white man's extremist
Yeah.
groups. It's gonna take a while to unalive the white man's extremist groups. Those are his groups. He funds them. Because don't nobody got no job. Nobody got no money. They always got weapons and shit running around that part of Africa. So it's gonna take a while to unalive these bastards. When you do it viciously. You unalive their ass in the most profound, visible way.
I actually think the first agenda the Sahel should have is actually coming together, forming a military unit, and going.
That's what they're doing. You're
Yeah, that's
right.
what
You're exactly
yeah,
right. That's what they're
do.
doing. You're right.
That is one, bring peace to the region. Two, send a message. And the second one is more important than even the first, sending the message that we mean business.
Yeah, exactly. We're not gonna tolerate. I said unalive them in the most visible way you can.
Yeah.
Unalive them in the most visible way. Not gonna tolerate this goddamn white man shit. This is what's gonna happen to you. Now you become a rebel at your own cost. This is what we're gonna do to your ass. So exactly. That's what you're gonna have to do because they're getting paid as the country's trying to set themselves up. The white man's gonna pay these rebel groups, pay this money, destabilize it, to bring it down, to cause trouble. That's where he steals.
Yeah.
But everybody's on to it now. The Africans are working up. Everybody's on to the game that they're not terrorists running around Africa. Anybody? There was a bunch of terrorists running around Africa when they were colonized. There was a bunch of terrorists, Demore, when they were still under complete colonial rule. There was no terrorists running around Africa.
And now all of a sudden they are terrorists everywhere. They are minerals.
Exactly.
Lastly,
Exactly.
Nigeria's Dangote has said that he's going to deal with the fuel shortages in Nigeria alone. He's the richest man in Africa, allegedly. I don't know how true that is.
He is. Because he was the most corrupt bastard in Africa. He's what
Is
man in
he really?
Africa. Yes, he is. He really is.
I always believe that the world richest people are not even in the books. They are not listed.
Oh, not in the world. He's the richest man in Africa. Motherfuckers are in the world. No, they're not listed at all. You're right. We're talking about the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. Yeah. They ain't a trillion dollars. Yeah, this is not listed. They own all these fake. They own all these fake central banks. But is he the richest man in Africa? Yes. But
Mhm.
But underneath them are all the white people in South Africa.
Yeah, so I actually think there might be some richer white man in South Africa who's not had his
Might
name
be. It might be.
listed.
I'm not gonna say that's not Unusual, it might be.
Who's paid money to those companies that list the Forbes and said never ever think of mentioning me anywhere?
Yeah, it might be because right, because true wealth is hidden. You're right about that. The true wealth of the planet is never say he's the richest man here. Elon Musk and all these other people, the richest. They ain't no richest people. Exactly right. Richest people name are never on no damn list. You got that right.
I actually tell people Elon Musk, there are tables he can't sit in. He's a peasant in some tables. He's poor. There are tables he can't sit in.
Yeah, that's why you seen him when he said something. They took him where? They took his ass to Israel. They made him go. They made him go with that small hat. Took his ass to Israel. He was against that wall, Demore. All right, I'll get your ass over here. What's wrong with you?
I also don't buy the gimmick that Aliko Dangote is the richest man in Africa. I've never bought it. Maybe he is, but I doubt. If he was, he wouldn't be on the paper. Really, I doubt he would be.
There may be another white man somewhere, and that's in Africa. But he got to be in Africa. So he said,
there might be another white man who wants the money.
It's usually always It's usually always the South Africans, the white people of South Africa. They're the majority. Let's not say it's a bunch of black people. It's always under Dan Cody in the African wealthy field, it's all white people coming out of South Africa.
I'm just saying a post of Tinubu has appealed to the country's youth to just give him more time.
Yeah, because he's getting scared. At least he's trying to be sensible. He's not talking that Museveni shit because his population is overwhelming. He knows goddamn well.
At least he can lead the room.
No, but because he knows goddamn well. Unlike Museveni, his youth are like 100 million strong. Tomorrow, you can't. There's no army that can handle 100 million youth. Shit, you'd be overwhelmed, tomorrow. You're overwhelmed.
If you stress that old man is gonna die. You
can't talk that shit that Museveni's talking. You bet not. You goddamn Nigerians, you bet not. Right? Fucking we're 100 million strong out there, bitch. You crazy? And they always see Kenya do it. Shit. Okay.
So Dangote has signed is in talk with Libya to secure crude oil that is 650,000 barrels per day. He's also going to seek Angolan oil and some other supplies because he has built a 20 billion USD refinery and he's seeking to end the fuel shortage in Nigeria alone.
Why don't he refine the Nigerian oil? No, why?
He wants the Libyan.
Yeah, how does that make sense? I'm gonna go with the Libya.
He prefers the Libyan.
When Nigeria has more, you know why? You know why he referred? Because the people that we can't name, who have the most money, own the Nigerian oil fields. The motherfuckers, we look at shit. Who owns that Shell and ExxonMobil, who runs Nigeria? That's why he's talking that Libya shit. Because the people that actually got people that we can't name them all right, the rich people that's down that list, they own that shit.
Actually asked to him during the interview, and he said he began, the 20 billion refinery was built in January, not now. And he began operations in January. However, he has not been able to get adequate crude supplies from Nigeria. Even though Nigeria is the biggest oil producer, he's not been able to get it. Why? Because of pipeline vandalism. Whenever he buys the oil, somebody vandalizes his pipeline.
But why don't they vandalize the white man who's getting it out of there?
It's a personal vendetta they have with him apparently. But maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. Maybe the ones who own the oils do not want him as a competitor. Maybe
they don't. They don't. That's
the goons to vandalize the pipelines. Because
that's what I'm saying.
Because businessman, it would be cheaper for you to refine Nigerian oil.
That's what I'm saying, Demore.
Maybe he's actually not lying. He has been getting vandalized.
I said he wouldn't be lying about that. I think it'll be cheaper to get from Nigeria. Nigeria produces more oil than Libya. He's going to oil because the people that actually run this planet have got complete control of Nigerian oil.
Yeah.
All you gotta do, tomorrow is go to the Shells. Who owns that Shell? Look it up. You know who owns it. That Shell company. And then also who also in there? The Rockefellers, I think the Exxon Mobil also in there. That's the Rockefellers. But they're not gonna tell you that name. Look at the shares. It's gonna be they front companies that own that shit. Who owns Dutch Shell? Who owns the leading shares in Dutch Shell? Who owns it? But we know that's really a Rothschild company, but who owns it? Who does they own? Let's see.
The Royal Dutch PLC.
Who owns it?
They're saying it's the Royal Dutch.
Yeah, the Royal Dutch Shell, but I'm saying, who owns that shit? Who got the most shares?
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. It's owned by a U.S. oil company called the Royal Dutch.
That's a U.S. company? Okay, that's a U.S. company. That's the Rockefellers then. Yeah, that's the Rockefellers. Names you can't not say.
And they even go further to say that it is a franchise, so don't ask questions. Every shell you see is owned by a different person.
Of course.
Yeah, so it's a franchise.
Oh,
That's their defense. Their line of defense is it's a franchise.
Who else? What's up for me with quick money? I mean, that might mean the Rothschilds got all their oil. Who else say, what are the number one oil companies in, who are the oil companies in Nigeria? I know it's World Dutch Shell. Who else is there? Is it Exxon or Mobil? Are they owned by the same people? I'm sorry, who's that? Imagine you don't own none of your own damn oil. It sounds crazy.
Of course, they're saying it's the Nigerian federal government that owns the oil companies in Nigeria.
Right. I'm gonna get the hell out of here with that fake shit. That's a lie.
National Petroleum Company, NNPC.
Okay, well, let's say
7.
Okay, well, who are the private companies? And let's say who are the other companies in there? Then let's say that shit, because we know damn well the Nigerians don't own no oil company because Dan Cody can't even get the oil from there. And we know that's a lie. So let's see, what are the other companies in Nigeria's oil business? Let's see. Who are the major players? Let's say who are the major oil players in Nigeria's oil business? Or who are the major oil companies in Nigeria's oil sector?
Shell Nigeria.
Yeah, I knew it was Shell Nigeria. Shell ain't owned by no fucking Nigeria.
Maybe Shell Nigeria, but not Shell Nigeria. There is a H, and it makes sense.
All that shit's hidden. I know Shell, so we know Shell. I think it's goddamn Exxon, which is Rockefeller again. So Dan Cody can't get that oil out of his own goddamn country because the crackers who own it, whose name we can't say, got control of his.
So let's see. Let's actually see if Dangote is gonna deal with the oil shortages in Nigeria, because that has been the main cause of the power outages. Because Nigeria produces oil it can't use. So if Dangote is actually going to import the Libyan one and solve the problem, I'll give it to him. In as much as
how crazy is this? How can an oil-rich country be without oil? That's how crazy this is. How does an oil-rich country be without oil?
That's not crazy. That's Nigeria.
That's Africa, goddammit.
Yeah.
God damn. You're always country. You gotta
rich country be without oil, and Nigerians are saying, hold my beer. Hold my beer. Let me come to the end of the show. join Jovi at the top of the hour. This has
You
been
just
the hour.
can't make this. You just can't make this up. I got to go to Libya, who has less oil than me, to try to bring oil back to my country. Who has more oil? It just don't make no. Only Africa works crazy like this because of the stealing, the graft. It's just crazy. I'm gonna give me some Libyan oil.
Yeah, at least the Libyan one, they won't be able to vandalize the pipelines. You know. So,
I don't know what they're gonna do because I know the Libyans don't got control of their oil anymore. Ever since they killed Gaddafi, that was the whole thing. They're going. I know who owns Libya oil now. I think the same white people own that shit too. So I think
it's gonna say Shell Libya now.
yeah. Shell Nigeria. You don't get out here with that shit. Shell Nigeria.
How about you stop shelling our oil and sell out of Africa?
Yeah. Yo, no shit. So,
Yeah.
So I'm gonna look up. I gotta find who owns Libya oil because Libyans don't own no more. Once they stole it from Gaddafi, that's why they went to kill his ass to get that oil. They went to get rid of his ass and going to get that damn oil. So the Nigerians like, we don't want to end up like Gaddafi, all fucked up. We just we help the white man steal our shit. We get to live. You cowardly ass niggas.
It's national oil. I've seen national oil in Kenya. That's the biggest. That's one of the biggest.
And in Libya?
Yeah, national oil. Do you
In
have
Libya?
It's national oil.
Yeah, but who owns national oil? Who owns that shit? That's a private. That's some European shit. Who owns that shit?
National oil is the name of an oil company that is even in Kenya.
I know. That's fine. We know that. Who owns it more? Look up national. Who owns the shares of National Oil?
Okay.
It ain't no African company. I tell you that. Because I bet when Gaddafi owned it, wasn't no damn National Oil. I tell you that too. Where they shot his ass in the head and dragged him through the streets.
They've said that I'm not getting that information no matter what. They're giving me the shareholder of National Oil Kenya, which I don't want. I want the global one.
God damn, I need to find out who that. You can't see National Oil Conglomerate shareholders. Say National Oil Conglomerate shareholders. Or say international company, National Oil shareholder. We know it ain't no Africans. And we know it ain't Libya that controls the oil no more. Damn sure Gaddafi didn't name his shit National Oil. Tell you that. It would have been some fucking Arabic name.
Let me see.
We're trying to hide shit now. Can't find it more. Don't worry about it. Let's look up it later. But National, that's some European shit.
They're giving me some Arabic names here.
We said what now?
They're giving me Arabic names as the shareholders. Somebody like Farhat Berganda or whatever. Some Arabic. They're giving me Arabic owners.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, because it had to be Arabic. Okay, cool. Had to be some Arabic owners. I want to own it completely. Because it had to be some Arabic owners because Libya is an Arabic country now. Even though it's in Africa, it's an Arabic country. So, yeah, but I think those are shell names because that wasn't the name, that's not the name Gaddafi named no oil. He named no National Oil Company. So, those are some front names who actually owns that shit.
Yeah,
And I bet those are who?
proxies. I'm saying those are proxies. They're not the real owners.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, I bet if we go back dig, it's gonna go back to the CIA who stole the shit, getting it right back to the Rockefellers and Rothschilds. Watch and find out. So go back to them, no good bastards. And that's why they got proxy names, because I said it would have to be some Arabic names, because that's Libya. But I bet nobody in Libya that's Arabic owns that shit, because they came in and bombed it to steal it. They say, we came to bomb it and give it back to you. We came to bomb it to take it over. And that's what they did. They murdered Gaddafi in the streets and drug his ass through the street. Motherfucker, you think you just gonna own your oil and do what you want to do? We told your ass to take for the central bank. Remember, he refused to put a Rothschild central bank in Libya. Rothschild said, we told you, goddammit, to put a central bank up in your country. You thought we were fucking around with you? Now look at you all dirty with your head blown off, dragged through the streets. Now look at you. And now we got a central bank in your country, and we own it. That's right. And we renamed your oil company National Oil. The fool the stupid.
But
and now then Cody can get oil from us in Libya too with his stupid black ass.
Yeah, so, much love, family. I'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you join Joby.
What's up, fam? But Joby in the back looking at the children. Joby's worried about the children tomorrow. What about the children? And the children got to go to school tomorrow. Joby, this is the revolution. But the kids got to go to school. They got. Then we found out Joby was full of shit tomorrow. She was worried about the kids. The kids are making noise in her apartment building. She wants their ass to go to school so she can have some peace and quiet.
Never is saying Joby is running a daycare. And I remember yesterday somebody saying that you people are not worried about the future of this country. And I was like, what do you mean? We can't have a future if we don't have a now. We have to focus on now.
That's right. That's right.
Now.
Yep. All right. Now.
The now.
You guys worry about the now, so fuck the children, goddammit.
Fuck Joby and the daycare. That's your family.
Hello, family.